Whether you're hiking on the nearby mountain trails or strolling in downtown Hot Springs, Arkansas, it doesn't take long to see that this town is full of history and charm. Through its unique, turn-of-the-century architecture, this little southern town tells the story of the yesteryear. Several of the buildings that were once housing guests from all over the world have been shuttered in the dark for years. Since gambling was outlawed in the 1960s, and bathing was no longer considered the cure for diseases, Bathhouse Row in the downtown area saw a major decline. It wasn't until the early to late 2000s that interest in the downtown area began to develop. Several of the decaying buildings received their own spa day and were given a new life and purpose. As of today, there are still a handful of historic properties waiting for their second chance. In the spring semester of 2021, the University of Arkansas's Fay Jones School of Architecture and Design decided to help bring attention to a number of these at-risk structures.
I wanted to set up a challenge for the students where they could have more agency to set them up for their next stage of entering into their profession of architecture or interior design. University of Arkansas is a land grant institution, so providing service to the state of Arkansas is a part of our mission, where our talents as designers can educate the public and show developers, potential owners, maybe city councils, the potential of what could be.
So this class is Put the Hot Back in Hot Springs. There were 5 buildings and we toured all 5, and you got to pick your building and then decide what your idea for the historical preservation of that building was going to be.
The 5 buildings that we were investigating were the Thehau, the Medical Arts Building, the Duke and Stewart, the Maurice, and the Mountain Air.
Well, one of the really interesting things about Hot Springs is the way it's nestled in the valley between the mountains. And so it makes the main drag one building deep, which is unusual. And most of the students are focusing on very kind of real world development. What is financially sustainable? What can breathe new life into the city?
Hello, my name is Sydney Kutey, and this is the Mountain Air Hotel and Gallery.
The Mountain Air is located just outside of downtown on Highway 7. It was built in 1947 and has been vacant since the 1990s. Its unique structural features can still be seen as you're driving by.
I think what really attracted me to the Mountain Air was the bricks and the colors and just the patios especially. That's what I really love about it.
I also love the rounded walls going into the bathrooms because that's a very unique just architectural element that isn't seen in most buildings today.
The proposed program for the Mountain Air includes a mixture of public and private spaces. The site contains plenty of green space.
Sydney and Hannah were just 2 of the students that chose to imagine a new future for this 2-building campus. They each brought a very different but imaginative and realistic idea to their plans of restoration. Part of the challenge as interior designers was to also bring the building up to code in a creative way.
When designing, it was important for me to think about the original builder. What were their intentions? Because it's historic, and in the modern day, the building doesn't fit completely with the safety codes that we have now.
The 2nd, 3rd, and 4th level all needed a second means of egress, and only the 1st level had that. That ended up working to create a building that is combined with the 2nd building.
Sydney proposes her luxury hotel and gallery to replace the stairs in the west building with spiral staircases through the center of her various public spaces, while the stairs in the east building's hotel will maintain its original position. A spiral staircase with additional patios will connect the 2 buildings for egress. As of 2020, the Mountain Air has been purchased, and the new owners have drawn up plans for condos. Bathhouse Row sits just on the edge of Hot Springs National Park and can send you on a trip back in time. It features many spring fountains and 8 uniquely designed bathhouses. During the downtown's decline, 7 of the 8 remaining structures were abandoned. Luckily, today all of them have been repurposed as restaurants, hotels, museums, or reopened, all except for one, the Maurice.
When the Ford House was getting built, Billy Maurice kind of like sent spies in, and he wanted to know what was being put in. They have 9 baths, well now we have 10. This competitive edge really drove like a modern idea of bathing even further into an existence.
The National Park Service has been working for a number of years to find a developer to restore this beautiful structure. They have been able to stabilize the building from further damage and opened up the floor plan to provide more space for prospect tenants. They have also installed a modern elevator to help bring the building up to code.
I would love if this project sparked something unique.
Several students chose the Maurice and presented a wide variety of ideas, including event spaces, hotels, restaurants, and a casino. Callie, a recent graduate of the program, decided to bring her love of art and community space into her project while maintaining the historical features.
Here we have the original ceiling of the lobby, and architecture, it's not just about the 4 walls and the floor and the ceiling. It's about how to make it for people. That connection between a person and a made environment or a made object, that's the beauty. The beauty is where people connect with it.
Her vision sees this building as a multi-purpose function, with an art gallery in the sunroom, a sculpture studio, a coffee shop, bar, a restaurant on the 2nd floor, and a spa in the basement where the original pool can still be seen. The Thehau Hotel, also known as the DeSoto Hotel, was constructed in 1926 as the very first fireproof building in the area. This 8-story building featured 150 rooms, a coffee shop in the lobby, an additional lounge on the 2nd floor, and hosted a small bathhouse.
So this building could definitely benefit the people of Hot Springs by being renovated. There's a lot of hotels in Hot Springs, so I chose to go the apartment route so that Hot Springs can grow. It can build more permanent residents, so there's more jobs.
Megan's Thehau Apartments is envisioned to be a themed 5-level apartment complex featuring 10 490 square feet studio floor plans, 5 500 square feet 1-bed 1-bath, 5 500 square feet 2-bed 2-bath, 2 690 square feet 3-bed 3-bath lofts, 3 penthouses on the top floor varying from 1,100 square feet to 1,600 square feet. The roof will house a lounge with a gorgeous view of Hot Springs.
We were given complete freedom with what we wanted this building to be. And the time that this building was constructed was like the height of gangster activity. Going from that, each of the apartment layouts I have named after a different gangster who either resided in Hot Springs or passed through Hot Springs.
The Lobster and Mobster seafood restaurant and bar with custom furniture pieces will be on the 2nd floor, and a large area gym facility will be located in the basement. Her hope is to create a high demand in the restaurant and bar scene. As of 2021, the upper floors have been gutted to make way for a similar plan to Megan's, an apartment complex. However, over the last year, those plans have been placed on hold until further notice. Moving down the street across from Bathhouse Row sits a unique, symmetric, 2-wing structure called the Dugan Stewart Building. The rich terracotta facade, which embellishes the top corners, remains as a testimony to the early 20th century architecture.
Within each room, there was just that extra level of care in those, so all of the doors had this really thick, heavy oak framing, and they had the DS on each of the handles, and then they had these custom windows in the penthouse that I really, really loved.
There's so much marble in this building, the original stairs, the penny tile floors, the coffered ceilings. I wanted to be able to do something with them and be able to recreate the way this building once was.
Aside from the ground level, this building has been sitting empty since 1983. Trinity and Sarah both had similar ideas for this building's future and decided to work together in an effort to show the building's potential. Their distinctive presentation preserves all of the unique items and materials. The Dugan Stewart plan provides living, work, and enjoyment situations with amenities.
We actually are really lucky in school because we get to just have limitless budgets, but there is some concerns with that. I mean, Carl's definitely been helpful to keep us on track with things. He's like, okay, you know, might be a little bit expensive. You can't have Italian marble in all of these apartments if you want them to be, you know, not $4,000 a month.
With 8 420 square feet studios, 10 663 square feet 1-bedroom, and 2 large 2,100 square feet penthouses, their plans will also allow for a public and private space.
The building right now has a fire escape in between the two wings of the building, but we wanted to be able to fit into today's standards. There's like a 2/3 diagonal rule, so we had to move the stairs inside. There's one on each wing, and also adding in an elevator, making sure that everybody has access to an exit.
Right now, the Dugan Stewart building is up for sale and ready for a developer to breathe new life and function within these walls. Probably the most recognizable of the 5 buildings is the towering Medical Arts building that is across the street from the Arlington Hotel and is currently sitting with broken windows and empty graffitied rooms. The Medical Arts was the tallest building west of the Mississippi from the day it finished construction in 1929 until 1960. There has been much protest and concern raised that this building's fate will be the same as its once abandoned cousin, the Majestic Hotel, which was unfortunately demolished in 2016. Given the layout and the size of this massive structure, there was only one student who decided to take on this project all semester long.
Peacock is inspiration I found from a poster of Vogue from 1929. It was a perfect fit for this project. The first floor would have a beautiful pedestrian storefront with a dessert bar, and it will also have a regular bar.
Erin's plan details a combination of high-end hotel and apartment buildings. The floor plans include 2 upper-floor loft penthouse apartments and studios, 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom options from floors 7 to 11. The hotel rooms present a wide-range selection of double queens and king suites.
I want to extend my level of expertise within interior design. And so by getting a master's in it, it's one step forward into exploring that market sector. I think hospitality is incredibly fun. I think there's a great opportunity for really good design within the medical arts.
Unlike the other 4 buildings, before the spring semester of 2021 ended, this building received the news everyone had been waiting for: a new developer. Cleanup has already begun and renovation will begin soon. Hot Springs has so much to offer for a relaxing getaway weekend and is growing in tourists every year.
In the last 10 years in downtown Hot Springs, it's experienced a renaissance. The general public can tell a difference, and that's a place where they want to go and hang out. They don't just want to go to the lake anymore.
To me, the Hot Springs architecture, it's that same unique mystique that comes along with this culture that's been really derived from hot water coming out of the ground. How does that affect our architecture? We have tourism, so how does that affect our architecture? And there's such an opportunity here for vibrancy.
In fact, Park Avenue has already seen a major facelift in the newly renovated Cottage Court by Andy Roberts.
From the time I was 20 years old, I always wanted to buy an old motel in Hot Springs and fix it up. There's so many amazing people moving into Hot Springs, kind of new blood and younger people, wanting to restore, wanting to revitalize, and I think that's what Hot Springs is all about. So when you're in Hot Springs, come see us at Cottage Court, and we'll offer you a 10% discount if you mention Abandoned Atlas.
Her next renovation project is just down the street at the former Bel Air Motel. And right now, several other historic properties are under renovation by Ricks Realty's Chris Ricks, who is working hard to preserve the 1930s Central Theater by bringing in new and local talent, films, and events. Additionally, he is restoring Bill Clinton's boyhood home, which is located down the street from the Mountain Air, the historic Perry Plaza apartments, and the 1010 Central Avenue property that he plans to bring back as a deli in the lower level and a bar on the 2nd floor. Many are confident that both Andy and Chris's work are a continued asset to this town's growth.
We don't want buildings to just be house museums. We want them to be in use and be vibrant spaces where people live and go to work and hang out. It's easier to visualize through the lens of these young architects and designers. There is more work to do, including the Army-Navy Hospital.
I'm interested in building this library of every old building that we can find down there that has potential. Let's take a whack at it, and let's see what the students can come up with.
Just because a building is abandoned doesn't mean it's the end of the story. To learn more about the buildings listed, visit abandonedatlas.com. And if you are interested in an interior design, architecture, or landscape architecture career, visit fayjones.uark.edu.